Okay, hello everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. So let's start with this poll. So go ahead, scan this code on your phone and try to answer these questions. So remember, this is not graded, so just try to answer honestly as much as you can. So I see only 9, so I'm start. So now you are submitting. We have 11 response so far. As I said again, this is not graded, so just response whatever you know. No need to ask ChatGPT for the answer now, at least. Okay, we'll stop this in next 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to stop this in next few seconds. Submit whatever you have. We have 123 response so far. But I don't actually how to stop it. Do we also know? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's see whatever we have so far. We have 138 submission. Average is very bad overall, not that good. Let's see. Okay, so whatever we have, it's not graded anyway. So which of the following are valid declaration of an integer variable? It is refreshing. How can I stop this? Um, Let me change this. Okay, so whatever we have. So it seems that, yeah, so a lot of students know that 138, 46% students picked this answer. So these are the two answers. Int float, this is a valid variable name, but not a good variable name. There are two things. Something is something you can do, but it is not recommended to do. Okay? So if you write int float, yes, this is a valid variable name because this is capital letter. Okay? If you write this in a small lowercase letter, then it's not a valid variable name. Can anyone tell me why this will not be a valid variable name if it is a lowercase letter? It's a C reserved keyword. Okay? So it's a reserved keyword that you can use as a valid variable name. Okay. So these two are the answer. All the others are. If you picked this is really bad answer. Why? Because you cannot start a variable name with a digit. We know this rule from our last lecture. This is fine. This is not fine. We cannot use hash in a variable name. Only digit and underscore. These two things are allowed other than letters. You cannot use anything else in your variable name. Okay? In our last lecture, I said that, okay, before coming to lecture, make sure you really know the things we have discussed in our last lecture. Always, this is a reminder. If you have done mistake, it means you have not prepared before coming to this today's lecture. You cannot have a space in your variable name. So this is also not valid. This is valid because this is not a keyword. This is not valid because return is a keyword. Okay, let's go to the next question. All of these rules are mentioned in the PDF or we have discussed in our last lecture. What are those rules for a variable name? Let's go to the next question. It is asking how much memory does a character data type takes? It takes 1 byte. I asked exact same question in our last lecture as well. Okay, so still some of you answered this wrong. Okay, I would say yes, total 19 plus 14. How much? So around 35 people, almost 35 people did wrong. Okay. Allowable range. So this is the allowable range for an integer. I asked also the same question in our last lecture because an integer is 32 bits. So half of them goes to the negative side, half of them goes to the positive side. So half of 2 to the power 32 is 2 to the power 31. Okay, so what will happen? So can anyone tell me why this is negative minus 1? Minus 1 because we have 0 also, right? So the max value is 2 to the power 31 minus 1 because we also have 0 within all of this number, which is not a negative, not a positive. What will happen if you use an uninitialized integer variable in an arithmetic operation in C? So it will produce garbage value. So this is the correct answer. To remind you, remember in our slide we have a very big garbage picture. Okay, there is a lot of garbage, right? So you don't forget that if you do not put anything inside a variable, we have garbage in it. Okay, in C programming, okay, %lf, so a lot of students did mistake here. %lf is used for double. So double is the correct answer. Only 56 students answered this correctly. A lot of students use float. Remember, float is what? %f. %lf is for double. Remember in our last lecture, I was typing all of this format specifier in a comment of our code. So you should know this format specifier very well. Keep that in mind. Okay, next let's see. So which of the following is a constant declaration? So all of the above, actually both of them are constant declaration. You can declare constant using const keyword, or you can also use hash define. If you use hash define, remember there is no semicolon and also you don't have to provide the data type. But if you use const, you provide data type and variable name. And also remember, for constant, the standard rule is use capital letter. For all so the whole word will be all capital letter, uppercase letter. Why? Because this is standard practice. This is not a syntax, this is a practice. Because we'll be working in industry, you will be writing a code. If you use a constant, use all capital letter. This is a message between programmer. If any programmer reads your code, let's say 2,000 lines of code, and he's reading line number 1100. He found something all capital letter, he knows that this is a constant you declare somewhere. Okay? And if you declare a constant, you must you must initialize the value in the same line. When you declare it, you must provide the value in the same line. If you do not do this, you got stuck. You cannot change the value later on, right? So whenever you declare a constant, make sure to give a value at the same line. If you put another value in another line, it will show error. Which type of error occurs if you forget to put ampersand in front of a variable? Runtime error. Only, this is not syntax error. I spent pretty good amount of time in our last lecture discussing this, that if you put ampersand, if you write and a, what does that mean? How you read that? Sorry. So if you write ampersand a, this is a, okay? Many students during the test ask me, can you help me how to write ampersand? So make sure practice before coming to the test, okay? How to write this and. Okay. Now, how you read it? You read it ampersand a or what? As a programmer, you read it like address. And a means address of a. How many of you can print the address of a variable? We have written this line also in our last lecture. Okay? You should know how to see address of a variable, how to see value of a variable, how to see the size of a variable. We have learned all of this in a single code in our last lecture. If you do not know, remember you are not studying properly for this class. So make sure to study properly, otherwise you'll see a lot of things to be done in the one day before the test and you'll mess up. As I said, it's learning a language. You have to know the alphabet before writing a word in that language. If you want to know, you have to know how to write a word before writing a sentence, right? So we are learning in that. We're learning alphabet, then we are learning word, then we are learning sentence. So you keep learning in this way. You cannot directly start writing a sentence if you do not know the alphabet and word in that language, okay? Okay, so how you write it? So if I write scanf, okay, let's just write a code here. Instead of writing in compiler, if I write int a, what happens? If I write int a, what happens? We're declaring a variable, right? So what you'll get by writing this line? Your computer will give you memory from RAM, right? So it will give you space from RAM. The name of the space is called A. It has an address. So let's say the address is 1000. What do I have inside this box? Garbage. Now in scanf, what do you write? You write scanf %d ampersand a. I use the example of USPS. You use USPS to post something, right? So you read like this. You're asking scanf, hey scanf, can you ask user to give me an integer? Hey scanf, can you ask user to give me an integer? And whatever integer you get, post this to the address of a. Read it like this. So whatever number you got, post it, send it to the address of a. So USPS will carry it and it will put that number in the address of A. It reads like this. Now, if you do not write this ampersand, this A, what is the value of A? Garbage, right? Garbage means what? It's some kind of number that doesn't have any meaning to me. Let's say that garbage value is 200. Let's say we have 200 in the garbage value. Now what it will do? Can you tell me? If you do not put this ampersand, USPS will send the number where? Address number 200. Make sense? Where is 200 located? Somewhere in our computer. Probably somewhere in our computer there is a memory, and that memory's address is 200. So USPS will try to post this information into that address. So instead of posting the information here, it will try to post the information in that place. What is the problem with this line? The problem is this address, probably in another country or somewhere, my program does not have any access to that home. It's kind of you are trying to illegally trespassing to this home. Okay, you are trying to trespass in that home. Who will get angry? The operating system who is taking care of the system will get angry on your code. Hey, you are trying to access that memory, but you do not have permission to access that memory. So you are trying to access a memory illegally. What will happen? Immediately, the system will think your code is a virus and it will crash your code. It will break your code. Okay? So I also mentioned an error in our last lecture. This will happen. This is called segmentation fault. Okay? Segmentation fault. Do not forget all of this stuff. I spent so much time telling this, but if you forget this, then it's useless, right? So segmentation fault. What is segmentation fault? If you rephrase this, segmentation fault is if you're trying to access a memory illegally, it will create a segmentation fault. It will crash your code. Okay? Your code will suddenly break. And this is called runtime error. So runtime error means what? Your code will start running and suddenly it finds something wrong happening and it will crash your code. There are many software you use that crash, right? And you hate the software. So if you write a code that crash like this, people will not use the software, right? You have to update it. Okay. So let's go back. So now you know what is runtime error. So runtime error is what? That will happen while running the code. It will compile properly, no problem. Okay? It will be translated because there is no syntax error here. The error is that you want to do that you want to send the information into wrong address, and it will be realized during running time. Any confusion, any question? Yeah, go ahead.
Happen to do this to an address that you do have permission to, it'll still function and just give you garbage. That would make it a lot clearer.
Okay, so in that case, I would not say still logical error. It's kind of error that you could not realize it. Okay, and of course we call it runtime error overall. Okay, but still, if your code has access to that memory, you can say logical error or some kind of error. Okay, there's no specific name to this. Any other question? Yeah, that's yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, so kind of the operating system. Whenever you write your code, for every variable, your operating system, the Windows or Mac, whatever you're using, it will allocate memory for your code, right? So when you're trying to access a memory illegally, it means you're going a different memory that is not allocated for your code. Okay, and the operating system is protecting other memory. Otherwise, your operating system will not be reliable, right? All the software will think, okay, I don't want to write software for this system because people can easily hack my software. Okay, so Windows will protect all of these things. Yeah. Okay, let's see the next question. What kind of error is caused by forgetting semicolon? So if you miss a semicolon, that is called syntax error or compiler error. Okay, so what is compiler error? Compiler error means your code could not be translated. Okay, so you have a, for example, you are writing a code, you're missing a semicolon or quotation, and you're showing the red color error that your code could not be compiled. So there's no question running the code if the code could not be translated, right? Okay, so I'm surprised. Actually, many of you still could not answer these questions. Which of the following is not a valid rule for a naming of a variable? So variable name can contain space. No, you cannot have a space in a variable name. Okay. But cannot be a keyword. This is true that it cannot be keyword. So this is actually correct and so on. So still many of you answer wrong. Let's see, suppose x equals to 10, y equals to 20. Which of the two statements will both correctly print 30? Okay. So x plus, this is also correct answer. Yeah. So when you print f, you can do the math directly inside printf. So this is correct. This is not correct. It is adding address. We will not get anything by adding address. So a lot of students answer this question. Answer this. This is really surprising. So ampersand x plus ampersand y will not add two numbers. This is also not correct. This is pretty common way of doing it. So declare a total, you add them and print the total. So majority of you answered this correctly. But also I see many of you answered this one. This is not correct. Which of the following correctly prints the size in bytes of an integer? Size of. So if it says size of num. Okay, so %lu. This is the correct format specifier. Who can tell me what is the meaning of %lu? I also mentioned this in our last lecture. Unsigned long integer. Okay, lu unsigned long integer. So size of a variable is unsigned long. Okay, so see everything I have shown here clearly explained in our last lecture. So I want to hear your opinion. Why you think a lot of students couldn't answer this correctly? Probably okay, it was not enforced like we have to do this and so on. You have to be responsible. Okay, I will not assign you everything to study. There are exercises, there will be assignment going on throughout the semester. But remember, before coming to a lecture, make sure you study the things you have previous lecture. Otherwise, you'll be wasting a lot of time during the lecture without understanding anything. Okay, you'll see that what he's talking, what is his scanner, why is he using ampersand here, you'll not understand anything, right? So that's all. So we spent 25 minutes already on reviewing last lecture. That's not good. It's just breaking my plan now. Okay, any question or anything? If you are not concerned, I am actually concerned by this result, honestly. These are very simple stuff. Like it's not, we are not writing pointer arrays and all of these advances. This is very basic stuff. Okay, so anyway, make sure you study and come to the next lecture and study the previous lecture. And let's go ahead and start our next topic. We are going to start now arithmetic expression in C. As I said, I took this class many times at UCF. This is the topic a lot of students do mistake in the exam because this is not traditional math. Because you are coming from Python, Java, or math background and you started messing up here. What happens, there are some exact question I show in the class and I take agreement from all the students. They say, okay, I will not do the mistake. They raise hand and they do the mistake in the exam again. Exact same question. So make sure pay attention. Okay, so what is arithmetic expression? So here, everything before starting this lecture, make sure you know all of these things we have learned before. What is constant, hash, defined, compiler, runtime error, and everything you have learned so far. So we'll be learning arithmetic expression in C. We'll be learning mod operator. We'll be learning conversion during arithmetic operation, and then hierarchy of operators, and so many cool stuff. So let's get ready. What is arithmetic expression? Warning, do not start reading the slide. As I said, my slide has a lot of text. Do not start reading the slide. I will help you to read it. Arithmetic expression consists of numerical literals, arithmetic operators, and numerical variables. So it means you have numbers, you have operators. What kind of operators you have in arithmetic operation? Can you give me some example? Addition, subtraction, multiplication. So these are arithmetic operator. So you have arithmetic operator, you have numbers, or you have variables in the operation. Here is an example of arithmetic expression. 3.14 times 10 times 10. So here we have all of them are numbers. We did not use any variables here. We have operators and some numbers. Can you guess what it is doing, this line? But it's doing some calculation. What calculation is doing? Yeah. It's calculating area of a circle. See? Pi r square. So area of a circle with radius 10. Okay? So it is calculating area of a circle. Now you might have a question, okay, can I have radius directly as a variable? Yeah. So you can write expression like this also. 3.14 times radius times radius. Okay. Remember in our last lecture we talked about numbers like this. What is this called? This is called magic number. Do you remember the word? How many of you remember this word, magic number? Okay, some of you. We have discussed this also in our last lecture. So how not to use magic number? We have used constant hash define to prevent using magic number. Okay? No worries about that. So now, in your math class, if your teacher asks you to calculate the area of a circle, you write it like this, right? You write pi and you write r square. But when you write a C program to do the exact same calculation, you have to write 3 times 0.14 times r. Why you have to write like that? Because this is the way to write it in C. This is not a math class to write in that way. Because you are trying to give instruction to your computer to do something, so you have to give the instruction properly. Got it? And this is the way to give instruction, that if you want to multiply, if you want to do square, you have to write r times r. What is next? So arithmetic expression has operator like this. This is an example of arithmetic expression. We are doing a lot of operation in a single expression. So what do you have inside this expression? If you see here, we have variables, we have numbers, and we have what? Operators, right? So these three things. It could be variable, it can have numbers, it can have operators. Got it? Now, types of arithmetic statements. So when we write an arithmetic statement, it can be one of these three types. Type 1 is integer mode arithmetic statement. In integer mode arithmetic statement, all the numbers and variables will be integer. As an example, if you see here, we have I, X, Y, Z, all of them integer, and we have expression I plus 1, I equals to I plus 1, this is all integer, here all of them are integer, and so on. So if all of them are integer, we call it integer mode arithmetic statement. The next one is real mode. Real mode means floating point mode. If all of this expression, so all of the variables and numbers are float, then we call it floating mode or real mode. The last one is mixed mode. Mixed mode is a mix of integer and float in a single expression. Example, so see we have couple of float variables and we have couple of integer variables. Here in this line I am writing I equals to a times b times c. These are all integer, but I am dividing this by 100.0, which is double. So multiplying integers, dividing with a double, so it is a mixed mode. Next we have mixed mode operation here as well, and so on. Next, modulus operator. In shortcut we call it mod operator. How many, remember this is not percentage operator, it's called mod operator. Raise your hand if you know what is mod operator. Okay, so majority of you know this. So what is mod operator? It will give you the remainder of the division. So it's kind of A mod B will give you, if you divide A by B, what will be the remainder of the division, you will get that number. As an example, if you say 7 mod 5, what is the result? 2, because if you divide 7 by 5, 1 will be the quotient and 2 will be the remainder. Got it? How about 2 mod 5? Raise your hand if you think 2 mod 5 equals to 0. Raise your hand if you think 2 mod 5 equals to 2. 2 mod 5 equals to 2. Why? Because this is the definition of remainder, right? Remainder is what? Whenever you cannot divide anymore, then that is a remainder. So you cannot divide 2 anymore because 2 is already smaller than 5, right? So 2 is a remainder here as well. So 2 mod 5 is also 2, 7 mod 5 also 2. What is 5 mod 5? 0, because you can perfectly divide 5 by 5. What is 10 mod 5? Also 0, you can perfectly divide 10 by 5, there will not be any remainder in the division. Okay. Now we might have a question, can I do something like this 7.5 mod 5? No. Mod operator cannot be applied on a float. So you cannot use mod operator for floating point number. Very easy to forget. Do not forget this, okay? Because mod operator is here to get rid of any fraction, right? Next question is, what will be the sign of the mod operator? The sign of the remainder is always same as the sign of the numerator. It means minus 5 mod 2 yields to negative 1, because it depends on the sign of this one. However, 5 mod negative 2 is 1. What is 19 mod 200? 19, because you cannot divide 19 by 200. 19 is already smaller than 200. Cool. Now, modulus operator, mod operator is very powerful. There are thousands of pretty cool programming logic possible because of this operator. Okay? So you can write a lot of cool code because you have this ability to get the remainder of the division. Next slide is pretty dense. As I said, do not start reading the slide. I will read it for you. So notes on arithmetic expression. Arithmetic operations can be performed on ints, floats, and chars. Immediately, I'm sure many of you thinking, how is it possible to do arithmetic operation with characters? Does it make sense? Yes, you can do cool stuff by using arithmetic operation on characters. Let's see example. Let's go back here. Let's do it in online GDB, okay? I was thinking I'm going too slow, but based on your response, I think if I go fast, you'll all fall in trouble, okay? So I'm going pretty details. I'm not just finishing things one by one. So these are easy stuff, but still you couldn't answer. This is not good. Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to declare a character. How to declare a character? Char. Let's have a character variable I equals to, let's ch. Let's say ch, and I'm initializing this to uppercase A. So see what I have done? I have just declared a character variable and stored A in it. Who can tell me what will be stored in ch? It will store the ASCII of A. So it will store the ASCII value of uppercase A, which is what? Who remember? 65. So it will store 65 in it. If you want to see ASCII value of uppercase A, simply put printf %d, and if you write ch here, it will print the value of ch as an integer, and you'll see 65 here. See, you got 65 here. because uppercase A is 65. Now let's do another thing. I am declaring another character, so char char, ch2, another character, and I'm writing ch plus 2. Can you tell me, if I print ch2 here, what will be printed? It will print 65 plus 2. What is that? 67. So if you run it, 67. So what I'm getting by 67? See, I'm just writing percent %c here instead of writing percent %d. Can you guess what you'll see here now? A, B, C. You will see C. Run it. See, C. So the value of ch2 is C. How we got this? A plus 2 is actually C. Because C is 2 letters after A, right? Make sense? Okay. Now, I'm doing something. Okay, let us try to see now lowercase letter. Let's say, if you want to see the value of lowercase a, if you run it, %d, see what I'm doing. Printf %d character lowercase a. You will see what? Can anyone remember this? 97. If you run it, you get 97. So the ASCII value of lowercase a is 97. ASCII value of uppercase a is 65. What is 97 minus 65? 32. Okay, so keep that in mind. See what I'm doing. I'm writing ch here plus 32. I'm writing %c here. Observe carefully. What is ch? Uppercase a, right? I'm adding 32 with this. I'll get 97, right? And I want to see what is there. If you run it, you see lowercase a. So what we have just learned, how to convert uppercase to lowercase, right? So if you have a code and you want to convert that uppercase letter to lowercase letter, just add 32 with that, you get the lowercase letter of that. Think, see, instead of writing A, if I write D, I run the code, here you'll see lowercase d. Lowercase d. Because D plus 32, uppercase D plus 32 is lowercase d. Okay. So see, we can do arithmetic operation with character, and it's really helpful. Make sense? Now I'll give you a task. Who can tell me? I will give you a letter, and you have to tell me what is the position of the letter in alphabet. For example, if I give you C, you have to say that C is the third letter in the alphabet. So you have to print 3 if I put C. If I put F, you have to say A, B, C, D, E, F. You have to print 6 because F is the 6th letter of the alphabet. Who can come up with the idea? Very simple idea. Think about F. How you get the position of F? If you see F minus, you subtract F from A, you get their difference, right? How far it is from A. Make sense? You want to find how far F is from A. How you do that? You just subtract the number. So I'm writing, let's say D. I'm writing D minus A. So I'm subtracting one letter from another letter. Always subtract from A. So if you write CH minus A, what you'll get? If it is D, D is A, B, C, D, 4, right? So 4 minus, so you'll get how much difference between A and D? 3 difference. If you run it, oh, it's the %D. Oh. So I want to see the number, right? So you got 3. But D is actually 4th letter, not 3rd letter, right? So why it is printing 3? Because you are subtracting from A. What is the position of A? 1 or 0? Position of A should be 1, right? First letter. If it is A minus A will give you 0, but you want to see 1 here. So what do? Just add 1 with that, you get the answer. So if you write D here, so D minus A plus 1 will give you the position of D in the alphabet, which is 4. So D is the fourth letter of the alphabet. Make sense? So what we learned from here, that you can do arithmetic operation with character. This will be part of one of your programming assignment in the future, okay? So make sure you understand this logic, how to get the position of a letter in the alphabet. This is the idea. Any confusion, any question? Yeah, go ahead. So this plus 1, the main idea is C. Okay, A is 65, right? D is, so D is A, B, C, D. So 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. So D is 69. So what is 69 minus 65? Sorry. A is 65, B is 66, C is 67, D is 68. Okay? So if you do D minus A, you get 3, right? But D is actually the fourth letter, right? So this subtraction will give you the difference between A and D, and you add 1 to get the exact space. Sorry? Yeah. It's the position of the letter in the alphabet. You can just think like that. Any other question? Because A's position is first, so if you do A minus A, you get 0, right? But you don't want to see you don't want to see 0, you want to see 1 in that place. So what do you do? Just add 1 with the result. You get the number. Right? Okay, cool. So we are done with this. Next is, can we write this? Let's say you have 3 variables. You want to multiply those two, k equals to A times B. Is it a valid line? If all of those variables are declared, this is a valid line, there is no problem. Is it a valid line? If you say yes, you are getting into trouble already. Okay? Remember when he said, what operator is this? What is the name of the operator? Assignment operator. You should be very fluid in this vocabulary. These are all vocabulary we'll be using. Do not use equal operator. You say assignment operator. Okay? So this assignment operator works how? It will copy the result from the right side to the left side. And left side must have to have only one variable. I spent quite a bit of time just saying this. Now I'm saying this one word. I typed all of this in the lecture, in our last lecture or previous lecture. Okay? You have access to all of this lecture recording, and you can also watch those. Okay. So this is not valid, this is valid, because assignment operator can have only one variable in the left side, because this will be calculated first and the result will be copied in the left side. And this is not valid. Okay. Next is, your program will not assume what you want to do. This is not its responsibility. You have to explicitly say to your code, hey code, please do this. So what do you mean by this? Let's say you are doing math test and you're writing x equals to a dot b dot c y times d. Is it a valid math expression? Yes, you are multiplying this and multiplying this and you're getting the result, right? But in C, you can write like this. What do you have to write in C programming? Can anyone tell me? You have to put a star, because you want to multiply, you have to specify that I want to do multiplication. Your code will not automatically assume what you want to do. Change this to multiplication. Do you think it is fine or something is missing still? Still this is missing. You want to do multiplication here as well. Got it? So you have to explicitly say what you want to do. Your code will not do automatically. Next, you want to do 3 square. 3 square. You want to write x equals to 3 square. This is valid math expression, but not a valid C expression. How do you do it in Python? You write x equals to 3 star star 2, right? This is not C expression. If you do like this, you will lose credit and it will not also work. Some programming, you can write 3 to the power 2. This is also not right in C. How you do it in C? X equals to 3 times 3. This is how you do it, 3 square. Now, some of you started having question. Okay, it is 3 square. How about if I have to do 3 to the power 10? Do I have to write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 like this? No. If you have a bigger power, there is a library function that we can use. There's in math.h, there is a library function called power function, POW. Okay, so in power function, if you pass x and y, it will return x to the power y. And there's a math.h library for this, so math.h library. So you have to include this in your code if you want to use this function. Now I'll show you code with this. I'll not run this because we're running out of time because we spent a lot of time on the other stuff. Let's go back to this. So here's an example I have here. So see, printf, I have included math.h library. I strongly recommend you to write this code later on, okay? See, I'm writing power 2 comma 3. So it will do 2 to the power 3. I'm using %lf. Can you tell me what type of data this power function returning? It's returning a double type of data. Remember %lf? %lf is used for double. Let's see. There is no D. Why you say it is double, right? LF, you can think like long float. Okay? So power function returns double, so it will print 2 to the power 3, which is 8. It will print 8.00000 like this. Yeah. Yeah, so what you can do, you can save this into an integer. That we'll be learning now. That if you save something floating to an integer, what happens? So type conversion. Okay, we'll be learning that now. So consider writing this code and try to have fun. Let's keep going then. Integer and float conversions. I say very important because many students do mistake here. If you perform arithmetic operation between integer and integer, always you get an integer. Okay, you don't get float. If you divide or multiply integer with another integer, you always get integer. Now, so what do you mean by this? Let's see. What is 5 divided by 2? If you use calculator, you get 2.5, right? But I just say this line. This is an integer, this is also an integer. So the result will be an integer. So result will be 2. So you just lost everything after decimal point. Got it? So just we have nothing called decimal point in this case. What is 2 divided by 5? 0. Okay, if you use calculator in your test, you will do mistake. Got it? Any confusion? So this is number 1. Number 2, real and real always yields a real result. If both of them are float, the result also will be float. Example, 5.0 divided by 2.0. Sorry, 2.0. What will the result? 2.5. Because both of them are float, the result also will be float. If you do 2.0 divided by 5.0, you get 0.4. Number 3, integer and real always yields real result. So if you have an integer and a floating point number, the result will be floating point number. So if you have mixed operation, then the result will be float. How does that work? In this operation, the integer is first promoted to a real and then the operation is performed. So if you have an integer, another float, the integer will be promoted. What is the opposite of promotion? Demotion. If float convert to integer any point of time, that is called demoted. If integer converted to float, this is called promoted. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay. Now let's see an example. If I say 5.0 divided by 2, what is the answer? 2.5. Because one of them is float, right? If you write 5 divided by 2.0, the answer is also 2.5. If 2.0 divided by 5, you get 0.4. Got it? Yeah. The order doesn't matter. Okay? So, if any one of them float, the result will be float during that particular operation. Now, for your, how many of you have done the temperature converter assignment already? So, the formula is 5 divided by 9, right? Times something. You see the trap here? If you write the calculation 5 divided by 9 times this, your result will be always 0. Because 5 divided by 9 is 0, right? So 0 times anything will be 0, right? So what should you do? Well, write 5.0, just make one of them float, the result will be correct. Make sense? Very often we fall into that trap. You write a code, you calculate average, you do a lot of stuff, and so it's not giving you correct answer because you are probably doing this kind of formula problem. Okay? So if you have both of them are integer, we call it integer division. Okay? So pretty common word we use in our programmer as a programmer. Hey, you are doing integer division. It means both of those are integer, so result also will be integer. Got it? Okay, so we have learned this. The next one is even more confusing. And I guarantee if I have 200 students here, at least 50 students will do mistake in the test for the exact same type of question. At least 50, even more. I say this and you'll do this again. Keep that in mind. So make sure you don't do that, right? So let's see here. So type conversion during assignment. So when you do the assignment operation, type conversion can happen. Example, we have integer I, float b. So if I write I equals to 3.5, can I store 3.5? No. What type of data 3.5 is? We call it double. Remember, by default this is double. Okay, double is the default one. So 3.5 will be demoted to integer. So the value of I will be what? 3. So 3.5 will be demoted to integer because you are, so see, it is doing automatic conversion, right? So when it is happening? During assignment operation. When it is trying to do the assignment operation, the automatic conversion is happening. Next is, if you write b equals to 30, see, b is float, right? So we are putting integer into a float. So what will happen? Promotion or demotion? Promotion. 30 will be promoted to 30.0. Got it? Clear confusion? Okay. Now the most confusing part is coming here. Do not start reading this slide, as I said. Consider x is an integer and y is a float variable. Now you have to tell me what will be the value of x and value of y if I do this. What is x? X is, so let's write it here. Int x float y. Now if I write x equals to 2 divided by 9. If you use calculator, you get 0.222 like this. Okay, server 9, let us use 5, okay? Which is easy, right? So if you write 2 divided by 5, what will be the value of x? X will be 0. I'm writing the answer here. Okay. If you write y equals to 2 divided by 5. Remember, if you use calculator, 2 divided by 5 is 0.4, 0.4, okay? If you use calculator, this is 0.4. Let's see how many of you can answer this correctly. What will be the value of y? So y is float. I'm writing 2 divided by 5 because y equals to 2 divided by 5. So raise your hand if you think y will be 0.4. Raise your hand if you think y will be 0.0. That is correct. So y will be 0.0000. So why? Because I said before, assignment operation is the last thing will happen. It will do the calculation first and it will put the result in the left side. So it does the calculation first, 2 divided by 5. 2 divided by 5 is 0 because both of them are integer, right? Because both of them are integer, so we get an integer result. So the result of 2 divided by 5 is 0. Now you put this 0 into float box. So 0 will be promoted to 0.0. So it will not, so don't think in this way that, okay, it has calculated when it's trying to put it into float. Oh, it is float. Let me do the calculation again and come back. No. It does the calculation already. Then it will store the result. And when you store the result, it will just store the result, whatever it has, right? So it has 0, it will put that 0 to y, 0 will become 0.00. Make sense? Okay, if it makes sense, tell me. If I write x equals to 5 divided by 2, what will be the value of x? 2. If I write y equals to 5 divided by 2, what will be the value of y? Raise your hand if you think this is 2.5. Raise your hand if you think y will be 2.0. So 2.0 is the right answer. Again, why? It will perform 5 divided by 2 because both of them are integer. You get an integer which is 2. Then you put 2 into a float box, 2 become 2.0. 2 will not become 2.5. We already lost that 0.5. That's gone. Got it? X equals to 5.0 divided by 2. What will be the value of x? 2. But how you got this 2? What is the result for this? The result for this one is 2.5. Then you put this 2.5 in an integer box. 2.5 will be demoted to 2. See the process. It's not happening randomly. It is going through a process. First it performs the calculation, then put the result to the left side. This calculation is 2.5, the result is 2.5, and you put this 2.5 in x because x is an integer, it can just store 2.5 is gone. Make sense? Y equals to 5.0 divided by 2. What is the value of y? 2.5. The result is 2.5 here, and you are putting 2.5 into a float. They are perfectly matching, no conversion happening. 2.5 is storing 2.5. Make sense? So you have to be in that mindset. Very common mistake, as I said earlier. Now show your strength in math. How many of you know? Is there anyone from math major? Not from math major? So it's not fun then anymore. Okay, so let's see. So I'm a programmer. It's like, so you got a math problem and you have to find this. So 8 divided by 2 times 2 plus 2. So she says that he took 3 calculus classes and she thinks this is 16. Okay? And she says I have 2 math degrees and she says this is 1. Let's see who wins. Observe this a little bit. If you want to do the math on your own, on brain or paper. How many of you are with her? Raise your hand. 3 of you. How many of you are with her? Many of you are with this. Let's see who win. So you got 8 divided by 2 times 2 plus 2, right? Which operation will be performed first? Parenthesis. So you have 8 divided by 2 times 4. Next, which operation will be performed? Division. Because you'll do the left to right. Division and multiplication has same priority, same precedence. If you have same precedence, then it will perform from left to right. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, then you have times 4. So the result is 16. So minority wins. This is the answer. Okay, if you want to see, let's write code for this. I'm writing percent %d. What was the number? Let's see. So 8 divided by 2 times 2 plus 2. Okay, we got 16. Okay, how it is doing, I already showed you. So what we see from here, that the priority operators matters. So when you get a code, when you have to write a code that will perform some arithmetic operation, make sure you write the expression properly. Okay, so now we learn how to evaluate this type of expression. So if you want to do this expression evaluation, if you observe here, if you do 5 minus 2 times 3, what is the result? -1, right? We can do this one first, and then 5 minus 6 is -1. However, if you want to do this first, what you have to do? You have to put a parenthesis there, right? So this is the idea. If you want to do something before the other things, make sure to put them in parentheses and so on. So now we see the priority of operator. Multiplication, division and mod, they have same priority. Okay. Then plus and minus has same priority but lower than multiplication. They have higher priority than plus minus. Who has the least priority? Assignment. That is the last thing your code will do. Okay, so if you know this, let's follow this rule. Let's try to solve this math. So let me take it. So how to get this? Let me see. So you get I equals to 2 times 3 divided by 4 plus 4 divided by 4 plus 8 minus 2 plus 5 divided by 8. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so tell me which operation will we perform first? 2 times 3. So let us do that. So you get 6 divided by 4 plus 4 divided by 4 plus 8 minus 2 plus 5 divided by 8. Which is the next one? Let's say I is float, okay? I is float. But see, it doesn't matter I is float or not at this moment, right? Okay, so what is the value of 6 divided by 4? If you use calculator, you're in trouble already. 6 divided by 4 is 1. Integer division, right? Plus 4 divided by 4 plus 8 minus 2 plus 5 divided by 8. Which operation is next? 4 divided by 4, which is 1 plus 1 plus 8 minus 2 plus 5 divided by 8. Which operation is next? 5 divided. What is 5 divided by 8? 0. Exactly. 1 plus 1 plus 8 minus 2 plus 0. What is the next one? Now see, plus has same priority, plus and minus has same priority. So you do from left to right. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 plus 8 minus 2 plus 0. What's the next one? 2 plus 8. 2 plus 8 is 10 minus 2 plus 0. Then 10 minus 2 is 8 plus 0. The result is 8. What will be the value of I? 8.0. So the answer is 8.0 because I is a float. So see how it is doing? So you have to do it step by step, and during this time integer operation, float operation, they can keep happening depending on the operation you are doing during that time. Make sense? Okay. Now, so we have more example. Make sure to practice with them. Because we don't have much time, we lost a lot of time, 25 minutes reviewing our last lecture. So I have to keep moving. Make sure to practice with this. If you do not practice during the test, you do mistake. Okay? Now, writing expression properly. Let's say you have A times B minus C times D. How you write it in C? There's no multiplication symbol like this, right? You use star instead of multiplication. You have n plus n times A plus B. How you write this in C? You write star in that place, right? So you write star in that place. Otherwise, your code will not automatically do the multiplication. It will do error or it will do some garbage stuff. If you want to do multiplication, specify this using star. 3x square plus 2x plus 5. How you write this in C? 3x square is x times x. Twice x is 2 times x plus 5. If you have this, if you write code like this, let's say x equals to a plus b plus c divided by d plus e. Is it correct? No. Then it will do what? It will do c divided by d first, right? This is not what you want. You want to add them and you want to add them and then you want to divide. So use parentheses. So see, in original expression there is no parenthesis, but when you write code in C, you have to give parentheses so that it will work properly. So this is the message I want to show you. When you write a code, make sure you write your expression accurately in C programming format. If you just write math format, it will not work the way you want. Okay, so similarly this is another example. Okay, now compound assignment operator. What is compound assignment operator? So think about, I am declaring int x equals to 5. So if you write int x equals to 5, you got a box for x, and what do I have inside this box? 5. Now, if you want to add 5 with this, how you write it? You write x equals to x plus 5, right? So x equals x plus 5 means what? We have x equals to 5, so 5 plus 5 is 10. It will put that 10 in x, so you will get 10 in that place. So what will happen? If you write x equals x plus 5, it will increase the value of x by 5. Whatever x was, x will increase by 5, and it will do it like this. So there's a shortcut you can use. You can write x plus equals to 5. If you write x plus equals to 5, it is same as x equals to x plus 5. So they are exact same thing. Got it? How many of you knew this before? Okay, many of you knew this before, that's good. But yeah, this is called compound assignment operation. So you're doing two things together using plus and so on. So similarly, you have minus equal, star equal, division equal, and mod equal. Okay? So whenever you want to apply this operation, if you write x star equals to 5, it means x equals to x times 5. This is same thing. Okay. Now increment decrement operator. This is going to be some confusion again coming. So plus minus, so plus plus, if you write plus plus, let's go back. Int x equals to 5 again. So you got a box that has 5 in it. Can you tell me how can you increase x by 1? You can simply write x equals to x plus 1. This is one way. X plus equals to 1. This is another way. Third way is x plus plus. And if you put semicolon, you don't have to use any assignment operator. Got it? If I write x plus plus, it will do this. It will increase the value of x by 5, it will become 6, x by 1. So if you write x plus plus, the value of x will increase by 1. So whatever we had, it will just be 1 more than the previous one. Similarly, x minus minus is same as x equals to x minus 1. So it will decrease the value of x by 1. Now you might probably be thinking, if I write x plus plus plus, would it increase by 2? No, there's nothing like that. Okay? So this is only x plus plus or minus minus. There is no x plus 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 3 plus, no. Got it? Now the confusion part is coming. Okay, this is an example code. I typically spend more time writing code and so on, but we are running out of time. So int x equals to 5. Original x, what is the value of x here? 5. I mean x plus equals to 5. We have 10 here. X plus plus, x will become 11. X minus minus, x will become 10. This is simple. Now the confusion is arising here. Pre-increment, post-increment. So there is something called plus plus x. This is very confusing, so spend a bit of time. There is something called minus minus x. If you write plus plus x, this is called pre-increment. If you write x plus plus, this is called post-increment. Is there any difference? Majority of the cases, there is no much difference you can see. For example, if you have a code where x is 5, if you write x plus plus, it is x becoming 6. If you write plus plus x, x also becoming from 5 to 6. But the way it works is different. Post means what? When you complete the line, then you see the effect. If it is pre-increment, you will see the effect in the same line when you are working on it. So how can I see the effect? If it is a single line, then you will not be able to see the effect because you see the result afterward anyway. But if you do something in a single line, multiple things together, then you will see the difference between x plus 1 and so on. Let me show you an example, okay? Example will clarify. Let's go back here. Okay, so let's say I have an integer int x equals to 5. Now I'm printing printf %d x. So what is the value of x now? 5. Oops. So x is 5. Now what I'm writing x plus plus. Now if you write printf, exact same thing, copy paste. What do you see here in this line? 6. So you have 5 here, we have 6 here. Okay, now I'm writing plus plus x. Now I'm copying the same line. What is the value of x? 7. So far there is no difference between plus plus and x plus plus or plus plus x. Now I'll show you the difference. So see here, I'm writing a printf. I'm writing plus plus, x plus plus here. Can you tell me what you'll see in this line? It will remain 7. You'll not see the effect. As I said, plus plus after means post. You'll see the effect afterwards. So see, it is still 7, but in the next line, printf, this, it will print what? 8. Okay, if you run the code, see, 5, 6, 7, x is 7, x plus plus is not really giving the result in this line. X is still 7, but the next line you print x, you see 8. So x changed when it completes the line. However, if you just move this to plus plus x, it is already 8 here, and you also see the 8 here. So if you run the code now, so see, x is 8, already 8. Why? It was 7 before. Plus plus x is increasing and then printing. Then next line also you see the new value, same value that is printed here. Got it? I see we are already out of time, but one example I just could not finish. So see here, y equals to minus minus x and z equals to x minus minus. These two are very important, and 50% of you do mistake in the test on this type of line. I will post a very short recording explaining this particular example. Okay? So we are done actually with this lecture topic. And that's all. Remember, you have to keep writing a lot of code. Don't be like this after writing 10 lines of code. Okay? Thank you.
Is there a casting operator in C?
Yeah, very specific.